Hi, welcome to 9.9 Comics with Chris and Kyle.
I'm Kyle.
And I am Chris.
Starting out, we have comics released on February 21st, 2018. We are going to start out with DC and their release of Batman and the Signal #2. Batman and the Signal, of course, is the story of the Signal, who is Duke Thomas from Detective Comics. Finally gets his name and is able to. He's basically the Batman of the daytime, which I really like what they did with issue 1. I really enjoyed it, especially his slow introduction to the Bat family. He's starting to feel like one of the family. Moving on from there, we have Batman: Sins of the Father #1. Based on the acclaimed video game series from Telltale Games, this new digital-first comic tells a story of events between the first and the second seasons. Someone is killing people associated with Arkham Asylum during the time Thomas Wayne was forcibly committing people there. Suspicion falls on the families suing Bruce Wayne to pay for the harm caused by his father. Batman has other ideas, but his investigation leads to him becoming the target of a deadly assassin. Don't listen. Anyway, it's basically just a comic of mid-storyline between the games. And then moving on from there, we have Brave and the Bold, Batman, and Wonder Woman #1. A lot of Batman this week. I mean, we can all enjoy that. But this is going to be a pretty big deal. I keep wanting to say the show Batman, Brave and the Bold. Yeah. The Brave and the Bold, Batman and Wonder Woman #1. Don't miss the start of a new 6-issue miniseries written and illustrated by Liam Sharp. Wonder Woman. When a Celtic god's murder leads to a war between the fairy folk and the possible breach between worlds, Wonder Woman must find the murderer and keep the peace while Batman investigates strange occurrences in Gotham City. As Diana must turn to the world's greatest detective for help, the two heroes quickly learn their cases may be connected. I'm really excited about this because they're going to finally have a really heavy detective Batman comic, like where Batman is doing some like hard investigation instead of a bunch of punching and riding Batman or Batmobiles through walls.
And it sounds like Wonder Woman's going to be some detectiving, like
with her fist.
No, I was going to say like in.
Don't no, that angers me so much. Wonder Woman is not able to out detective Batman. Anyway, that's what I feel like they're really going to showcase their. Like how Wonder Woman's really good at basically saving the world because she's awesome, and Batman is basically the brains of. I mean, even the whole Justice League. Without Batman, the Justice League it falls apart. They don't get an orbiting spacecraft. They don't get anything.
They get nothing because they're broke.
Moving on from there, we have Damage #2. Of course, you all know what Damage is. We made a big deal about it, but that's it for DC. Moving on to Marvel, we have Doctor Strange Damnation #1. Summary is the City of Sin gets its biggest sinner yet when Doctor Strange raises Las Vegas up from its destruction during Secret Empire. He inadvertently opens a big door for an embodiment of evil. Mephisto! Mephisto returns, guys. The devilish villain takes the city for himself and sets his sights on the rest of the world. It's going to take heroes from all over the Marvel Universe to defeat him, but there's nothing simple about fighting the Lord of Hell. Mephisto is, of course, one of Marvel's most powerful villains of all time. There's really not a run that doesn't excite. It's not exciting with Mephisto in it. It's really hard to find because he's awesome. But it sounds like they're going to make a really interesting spin-off of the failure that was Secret Empire.
Yeah, well, they've sort of been... there's a lot of little hidden gems in Secret Empire that could lead to good story arcs, right. And I think they're trying to capitalize on those. It is a continuation of Donny Cates.
Right.
And he's staying on the regular Doctor Strange run as well as this run. So that's exciting. You get more stuff by Donny Cates, which there's nothing wrong with.
And
that.
Yeah, it's his spin-off of some of the occurrences that happen in the Secret Empire run, which is really interesting. I'm kind of.
Who knows? He might even say the whole Secret Empire run with this one comic book run. Something will happen, and you'll be like, "Crap! I gotta go buy all the Secret Empire."
That
issues.
would be hilarious because I've got some of the rare copies of the.
I have every single copy of the Hydra Heroes variants.
Impressive. Moving on from there, we have Infinity Countdown Prime -- This is the second book in the Infinity Countdown series. A little summary of that is the Infinity Stones individually grant their wielder great power. Together they grant the power of a god. Newly reformed and scattered throughout the universe, these artifacts allow the ones who claim them their heart's desire. Now as their locations are discovered, forces converge for a battle that will begin the universe down a dark path to the end. Like the end, guys. Jump onto this exciting ride that will lead to the biggest infinity yet. Also, if you want to know a little bit more about the Stones' origins, they'll have a summary. It's basically just a background of the Stones, where they came from, what they're supposed to be doing. It's not going to be in the comic. It's just going to be in the front or the back somewhere. And then moving on from there, we have the finale to Deadpool versus Old Man Logan. This is number 5 of 5. It's going to be the conclusion of the series. It's a really important issue.
Alright, moving on from the big two, we're going to start off with Titan Comics, Bloodborne #1. So I'm going to give a little bit of summary. Obviously, this is based off the Bloodborne video game. I say obviously, but if you've never played it, you might not know that. Discover the terrifying secrets of Old Yarnum in a brand new comic series spinning out of From Software's critically acclaimed Bloodborne video game. That's the only summary I have for it, but the game was really good, had a great story, well enough that they'd want to pick up and make a comic off of it. And it's #1 out of Titan. I wholly recommend picking it up, that's why it's on the list. We also have out of Dynamite, Pumpkinhead #1. Nice horror comic, kind of slapstick horror being Pumpkinhead.
Right.
Obviously, it's a good one to pick up. And then Dark Horse.
Especially for you horror genres out there, Pumpkinhead.
Especially if you like Cullen Bunn, he's the writer.
Oh, okay. Missed that. Cullen Bunn, guys.
So yeah, never mind. I'm definitely
everything that man
now.
touches is gold.
It's everything he touches, especially dark horror stuff. All of the dark horror stuff he touches is just.
Venomverse shouldn't have worked, but it totally did.
Moving on from Pumpkinhead, out of Dark Horse, one that I'm pretty excited for, Matahari #1. So I have a summary for you on my phone here. Matahari #1. Dancer, courtesan, spy, executed by a French firing squad in 1917. 100 years on from her death, questions are still raised about her conviction. Now, the lesser-known, often tragic story of the woman who claimed she was born a princess and died a figure of public hatred with no one to claim her body is told by breakout talent writer Emma Beebe, Judge Dredd, artist Ariella Cristantina, Insects, and colorist Pat Messioni, drawing on biographies and released MI5 files. In the first part of this 5-issue miniseries, we meet Matahari in prison at the end of her life as she writes her memoir, part romantic tale of a Javanese princess who performed sacred nude dances for Europe's elite, and part real-life saga of a disgraced wife and mother who had everything she loved taken away from her. But as she sits trial for treason and espionage, we hear another tale, one of a flamboyant Dutch woman who became the most dangerous spy France has ever captured, a double agent who whored herself for secrets, lived a life of scandal, and loved only money, leading us to ask, who was the real Matahari? This is a comic for mature readers, if you couldn't figure that out from the description. You've been warned. Moving on from that, into Valiant, we have Ninjak vs. the Valiant Universe #2.
Yes.
So awesome. Awesome.
Love Ninjak, love Valiant, love universes. I mean, all three things are so great.
loving universes fighting one badass character.
Yeah, right.
It's just good times. Then out of Image, the one everybody always is waiting bated breath for, I'm sure. Ice Cream Man #2. #1 sold out of print completely. Obviously, that's a good indicator you should pick up the second one. I highly recommend you do so. We also have Postal Mark #1. Postal Mark is a one-shot. It is taking place after the Postal comic run, so it is a tie-in. Small summary from the Image website. After the stunning series conclusion to the regular Postal series, this one-shot story shows Mark's fate in the town 1 year later. So, if you kept up with Postal, this is going to be an interesting one for you to have reading-wise. If you're a collector, it's an interesting one because it's an epilogue issue. That's kind of a big deal. And you can see if it might ever go anywhere else from there. And then...
It is the 9.9! It is the 9.9 no-brainer! I started on that one.
That's fine.
But, anyway. I'm just going to hold this while you do it.
Okay. So, the 9.9 no-brainer, as you know, Kick-Ass was last week's. Keeping with the theme of awesome comics that have been switched to Image, we have Hit Girl #1 coming out. So, Kick-Ass #1 sold out first day.
You cannot purchase these from... Well, you can purchase these from your local comic book store if they still have any left, but your local comic book store cannot buy any more of these. Basically, you're waiting for second prints to have to be able to buy. Like, if your local comic book stores ran out, you're waiting for a second print. There's or eBay and spending a lot of money on a comic book. So, if you listened to us last week on the 9.9 no-brainer, you did very well. But we still have some left. We still have a few left.
Yes, we do. But maybe not by the time you see this.
Yeah, right.
So, don't hold us to that. So, Hit Girl's back. Story by Mark Miller. Art by Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. Cover by Amy Reeder. Variant covers by Amy Reeder, Kim Jung-gi, Raphael Albuquerque. It is another mature comic. So the summary for it, let's just get into that. Hit Girl is back. The pint-sized Punisher meets Polly Pocket has left America behind and set off to serve justice around the world. First stop, Colombia. A mother seeking vengeance for the murder of her child enlists Hit Girl to destroy his killer. But Mindy has bigger plans for Colombia's most feared hitman. Mark Miller and Ricardo Lopez Ortiz join forces for the first chapter of Hit Girl's world tour in this new ongoing monthly series. That being said, as exciting as that is, something else that's really exciting is the second story arc is being written by Kevin Smith. So that's kind of a big deal, guys. Be looking out for it. We don't know specifically which issue that's going to start. At this point, as we know more information about that, we'll obviously keep you updated.
Right.
But this is a big deal, especially with how well Kick-Ass has done last week. And it's a comic that did really well at Marvel, moving over to a publisher that knows how to do printings. You should pick them up.
Did you say that? Anyway, thanks for watching this week, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and share, of course. And don't forget to listen to our 9.9 no-brainers because this stuff happens. And when this stuff happens, it's good for you. So I think that's good enough for this week.
See you next time.
See you next time, guys.